This is my 1997 Mazda Miata. The whole idea of starting this channel back up again isn't to get views, isn't to get a trend going or anything like that. My sole purpose is just to motivate me to get this car running again. Right now, it looks nothing like it did 2 years ago. Before, when I got this car, it was running. I got it as a barn find. I'll try to attach some pictures as I'm talking here. But yeah, I had a Subaru Forester at the time, and I really wanted a Miata, really bad. That's been my goal for years, and some dude wanted to trade on Facebook Marketplace for one. And I said, you know what, I'll go take a look at it. And I did, and it was in really rough shape. This was literally found in a barn. Essentially is on farmland, and took it for a test drive. It had cut off exhaust. It's rusted all the way throughout, just on the quarters as far as I've found so far. Everything looks good on the floors, but I drove it. It shifted nice. It seemed fine on power, and I was thinking about it and went home on the thought of it. And I thought the next day, after talking to my buddy, he's like, "You want one so bad, just make the deal." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I did. Texted the guy, said, "Hey, you know what? I'll take you up on the offer. Just straight trade. Here's my Forester." It was a 2006 Subaru Forester with a 5-speed. It was a fun little car. It was just a daily commuter at the time. And he responds to me and he says, "Hey, I wrecked the car." I'm like, "What do you mean you wrecked the car?" He said, "I wanted to take it out for one last drive." When he did, him and his buddy, so this had ball tires too. As you'll see in the pictures, the car was rough. It was raining really hard that night, and he went drifting at a church parking lot in the snow, not snow, but the rain, with ball tires, lost control, and put it right into a curb, blew the airbags out, folded the control arm, bent the subframe. It was a mess. The car was destroyed, essentially. And I was really hesitant at that point, but Miatas were starting to get really expensive. They are still now, for some reason, expensive. And the Forester I had wasn't really worth that much either. And I was willing to kind of take the gamble. I went and looked at the car again, and he offered to tow the car home for me, get a tow for it, and if he'd make the deal. And I decided, you know what, I'm up for the project. I don't have to pay anything to get a Miata. I own the Forester, so I said, "You want to make the deal? I'll make the deal." So I brought it home, and there was a lot wrong. It took me a couple months to fix the subframe, fix the suspension, replace the dash as well because the airbags had gone off. The car went through several changes. The steering wheel, because of the airbag, it went off too. It's a 97, also has airbags. Put quick release in there. And just over the next year or so, I just started fixing the car, doing a lot of work to it, making it my own essentially. And if you ever watched my channel in the past, really big into drifting and never really had the money or the knowledge of having an actual drift car. I had an RX-8 at the time and could never get road legal. Rotary things, really difficult in my state to get emissions done on them. And I kept promising, "Oh, I'm going to engine swap it, this, that, and the other." It never happened. Instead, I traded that car for a truck. Decision I've ever made, I guess. But, so this was the dream. Get this car, make it a drift car, make it a street car, drift car kind of style. And I was getting it ready for its first drift event. I drove it for about a year and got a little group of buddies together. We started to kind of have our own little thing going on. It was fun. We had a small local sponsorship. That was great. The car was doing really well actually locally, getting traction, especially with these wheels. These are Sentra Type 7s. They're from the 1970s. Sentra was kind of like a BBS OEM style wheel for more like the German cars, like BMWs, things like that. And no one ever put them on the Miata. And I thought they were awesome because they look like a Dorito, a rotor, out of a rotary, and I'm from heart a rotary guy. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put these on here. Yeah, I started getting it ready for this drift event, and while I literally put a new coolant reservoir in here, aluminum one, the old one was cracked, destroyed, I put all new silicone hoses in it, and I had a brand new thermostat in the glove box. And when I was bleeding coolant, because for the track you can't run coolant, you have to have water. So I was swapping that out, went through the whole car, essentially getting ready for the track. And while I was bleeding the coolant system for water, it started bubbling over a lot. And I was like, that's weird. Did I get like the hoses wrong or something? Maybe I didn't bleed it enough. So I shut it down for the night. It was getting pretty hot. Came in the next morning, decided to try to fire up again, try to bleed the coolant system some more, and this happened. I had bent the rod really bad. It is crooked in all angles. This is cylinder 3. I think it just overheated after I finally pulled the engine out, started taking apart the engine. It looks as if the thermostat never opened, and that's why it wasn't bleeding correctly. Which sucks because I had a brand new thermostat in the glove box to put in. So that was a rookie mistake of mine that I had learned. I bent the rod. It's now an ornament decoration of mine that I'll probably keep forever. And so it sat for a few years, not a few years, about a year and a half. And now we're to this point. And I do have a new engine. I'll show you that here in a moment. I got the VVTi motor out of a NV2. 2001 NV2 had lower miles. They're still all high mileage. I think it had like 120,000 miles or something, which isn't too bad for a VP motor. But the plan is to just use this channel as dedication for me to just work on the car. I let it sit for a year and a half before deciding to do anything with it. I was heartbroken. And my idea is to kind of do this on a budget as much as I can. The whole car built on a budget. Everything I get, I find locally if I can. I rarely like to pay full price for things. I'm kind of stingy that way, I guess. I don't know if once the car's running again, if I will continue the channel. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'm solely using this just to motivate myself, making the videos, editing the videos. For me, if I film something and I'm working on it, it will give me a sense of completion on each task that I'm working on for the vehicle, and just kind of help motivate me to finish it. Each week, maybe I work on one thing or the other. There's rust, like on the quarter panels. Maybe one week I'll take the time to film fixing that. There's a lot of things with the car that need to be fixed that I want to do that needed to be done even when it was running. So that's what I'm going to do. Just kind of use the channel to give me motivation, watch the videos as I create them, and just kind of get that sense of accomplishment each time I put out a video, knowing that I completed a task. So if you're into that kind of thing, by all means, go ahead and watch the videos. You know, I'd appreciate it. It could be something we can all kind of enjoy. Help me motivate myself too if people are actually kind of liking what I'm doing, and you know, that'd be kind of more motivation for me, which would be great. But that's the game plan here. I'll pick you up. The garage is a disaster right now because I've been working on the car. As you can see, it's gutted. The dash is out interior. It's fully stripped. I'll show you the engine I got and my other engine, and I will kind of talk about the plan here, what I'm going to be doing with the engines. Okay, so you're gonna have to excuse the mess in the garage right now, but it'll get cleaned. I'm just wanting to make this quick video and show what I've got. So here is the motor I picked up. This is a VVTi motor, VVT motor of an NB2. It's a 2001. The guy I picked it up from, he was super nice about it. He cut me an insane deal. I'm actually friends with him now. And he has a lot of knowledge on building Miatas, so I've been kind of using him as a resource, if you will. But I started to put a lot of my old parts on here from my other motor. I had the 97 1.8. They fit on the VVT motors. They are a 1.8 as well. Back here is my old motor. It is crusty dusty, and it's just been sitting in a corner doing its best to just be an ornament, I guess. But with this motor, so we could do a few things. We could put VVTi in the car. However, I am getting older. I don't like doing illegal things as much as I used to. Getting this to pass emissions here is going to be increasingly difficult. It's just something I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of right now. So my idea is this. From what I've been told, the valves in here, not the valves, but the valve seals might be bad. The car was smoking when the engine was pulled. I compression tested it, and the compression tester I had was Harbor Freight compression tester. I think I still have the numbers up here. This is kind of my build breakdown that I've been trying to do. Everyone keeps rubbing up on the door and erasing it, so we need to make a new one. But this is what I came up with, and that seems really low. So we compression tested a few of my buddy's other cars, and it seems that the tester itself was leaking and low, but those numbers seem to be pretty even. So I think the bottom end is still good. I can't really trust the numbers from that compression tester. So here's the idea, and you guys are gonna hate me for this, but just hear me out. I'm gonna use the bottom end. I'm going to use my original head. I'm gonna go through the head, of course, and everything. I need to see if it does need to be machined or not, because it didn't seem like it blew a head gasket, so we might be lucky. It might have just bent the rod. Maybe a rod bearing was bad. I'm really not too sure, but I want to use the bottom end from here and put my head on it. It sounds ridiculous to do that. It's such a waste of a VVTi setup, but here's the idea, okay? This is just to get the car running again. What I'm going to do is set the car up with that motor, but I'm also going to go through the entire wiring harness. It's like 3 wires to trigger the VVTi. So, of course, you need a standalone ECU to do so. I want to have it set up and have it kind of ready for VVTi, but have it street legal as it is for right now. And then potentially, with going the standalone and everything, at that point, boosting the vehicle, and then we might be able to, I don't know, kind of revert it from time to time for said purposes. But I think that's the idea. Set it up with kind of both the engines, make sure it's everything. I'm going to refresh everything, of course, new gaskets. And then have it somewhat ready to accept the VVTi, and then, occasionally, when need be, to kind of revert things. I think that's the route we're going. In fact, I know that's the route we're going. Financially, that just is what makes most sense for me right now, and also to enjoy my car again. I miss driving the car, and I did like having it street legal. So we're going to do that, and that's what we're going to be focusing on. That's all I have for right now. I am going to try to be as consistent as I can with making these videos and doing them weekly. That will help me get to my deadline sooner. It is just now November, and I have made it well known to everyone around me I will have this car running again this winter. I have to say stuff like that to motivate myself, otherwise I suck and I am lazy. So that's what we're doing. We will have this car running this winter. If I don't, then I don't know, something will happen, I guess. But that's the plan. If you want to follow along as I fix this car, by all means, go right ahead. Maybe it could be help for you as well, motivational in some way to fix your car. So that would be cool for everybody, I think. But I appreciate it, and yeah, we'll be posting another video soon.